But Facebook's closed design means it has no real oversight. Only Facebook knows how it personalizes your feed for you. Facebook has not earned our blind faith.
Happy Friday. If you are new here, I'm Allie. And one day I woke up and got tired of seeing women fail because they weren't being given factual information. So I made a YouTube channel, and today we're going to talk about something that I am really fascinated with: social media, modern women, the algorithm, and body dysmorphia, because we are being horribly misled and misguided on what a natural, fertile woman's body would look like. And I don't mean thick and fertile. I'm talking about just a natural woman who is healthy enough to have children. So if you like my content, make sure you give it a big thumbs up, subscribe down below, and hit the notification bell so we can get into some more honest conversations so that women can improve their lives. We're going to start with taking a look at this CNBC clip with Stephanie Hagen. Stephanie Hagen is a Facebook whistleblower, and I ended up listening to about 2 hours of this and was able to take away from it that the algorithm is leading women astray. There are so many problems with Facebook, I can't even begin. Before I get into the clip, things you should know. Facebook's algorithm is interaction based. Facebook owns Instagram, WhatsApp, and Facebook, the platform itself. So when something is interaction based for an algorithm, it's whatever is going to be shocking and the most responsive human emotion. Guess what? Sadness is not that responsive of a human emotion, but anger is. So we have insightful algorithms, and it's even led, potentially, it's been theorized, to some genocides abroad. In the United States, what would that shocking content look like for young girls? It's going to look like leading you down a rabbit hole that teaches you how to starve yourself, whether it's on purpose or on accident. That's just the algorithm. A lot of complaints that people have about social media are algorithm based. And just so you know, there are coders out there that could make algorithms humanity based, things that we would love to see from one another that are personal. Our friends, families, and loved ones could choose what we see. But that's not the algorithm that's been developed because it's not the most profitable. Here's the kicker, though. If Facebook made their algorithm a little less shocking, it is possible in 5 to 10 years that they would have more customers on the platform, because a lot of people are leaving Facebook. The same thing happened with cars. When cars first came out, there were a lot of accidents. Okay, so seatbelts came out and people got really comfortable and bought a lot of cars. Facebook could apply that same thing. Another added problem with Facebook is that Mark Zuckerberg owns 55% of Facebook, so he is the judge, jury, and executioner when it comes to decisions out there. His decisions have long affecting consequences. I think we can see that we're in the middle of it right now. One of the last concerning points that I have about Facebook is the fact that they do internal research. They don't publish it to the public because it's a private company. So they know if they're causing problems or not, and we don't have access to that as the public, even though the public interest is giving them profits because we're the ones that are doing the interactions. We are the ones that advertisers are appealing to, but somehow we can't get the information on how we're being impacted. I'm not one to sit here and advocate for government regulations on a social media platform. I think it has dire consequences, such as a lack of free speech. But what we can do is educate women about these platforms and where they might take them and how it is curating their delusion. So without any further ado, let's get into this CNBC clip where Stephanie blew the lid off of Facebook.
A few straightforward questions to break down some of what you have said, and if you can answer them yes or no, that would be great. Has Facebook's research, its own research, ever found that its platforms can have a negative effect on children and teens' mental health or well-being?
Many of Facebook's internal research reports indicate that Facebook has a serious negative harm on a significant portion of teenagers and younger and children.
And has Facebook ever offered features that it knew had a negative effect on children's and teens' mental health?
Facebook knows that its amplification algorithms, things like engagement-based ranking on Instagram, can lead children from very innocuous topics like healthy recipes. I think all of us could eat a little more healthy. All the way from just something innocent like healthy recipes to anorexia promoting content over a very short period of time.
And has Facebook ever found, again, in its research, that kids show sign of addiction on Instagram?
Facebook has studied a pattern that they call problematic use, what we might more commonly call addiction. It has a very high bar for what it believes it is. It says you self-identify that you don't have control over your usage and that it is materially harming your health, your schoolwork, or your physical health. 5 to 6% of 14-year-olds have the self-awareness to admit both those questions. It is likely that far more than 5 to 6% of 14-year-olds are addicted to Instagram.
There you have it from an ex-Facebook employee herself. The algorithm will take you from a cute salad that you clicked on because it looked delicious to this is how you can starve yourself for several days. That's what we're talking about here, but there are so many long-term consequences to something like that. Millennial women, I'm a millennial, I am 26, I will be 27 soon. When I went through puberty, that is when social media started taking off. It was very new. My parents couldn't give me any guidance on it because they had not gone through it. In hindsight, it's had a lot of detrimental effects to my psychology just because I was given too much freedom and access to information and I didn't know what to do with it or how to exercise discernment. That's why we need to have our filters on when we are engaging with this content. That's why I'm making this video so y'all know what is up and what the pitfalls are. But also there's a lot of positivity to social media if you use it in a healthy way with discernment and discipline. While Facebook does own many platforms, Instagram's algorithm is body focused, while Facebook, the actual platform itself, is face focused. So that is what's going to pop off the screen for you. We're engaging with this content and you do see a lot of shapely women on Instagram. That was the first thing that I saw when I signed up as a woman in my age group, was a bunch of extremely fit women. Here is kind of the problem with that though. These fit women are making very different decisions and living different lives than the average woman. I am not going to knock the hustle, but women need to know the information so that they can exercise discernment where they're seeing these very attractive, very thin-toned women. An influencer that I'm going to talk about is going to be Llewyn. She lost over 100 pounds, went from a frumpy to a gorgeous woman, and showed and documented her progress. I'm not going to knock her hustle. Women just need to understand that there's different lives that women are leading, and you don't need to copy everyone. She frequently posts what she eats in a day. Because I had to lose a lot of weight when I blew up to 166.6 pounds, had to start tracking my macros. So when I see her videos, and this is what she eats in a day, it looks to be around 800 or 1,000 calories. That is not necessarily enough for most people. I have a relatively low BMR. Some women have higher, some women have lower. It doesn't really matter. The point is that she's not eating a lot. So that's why she looks that way. Because in order to have abs, you have to have a low body fat percentage. That is how you get them. You get a low body fat percentage from starving yourself. That doesn't need to be a bad or a good thing because we need context here. Let's be clear. She has a $1 million business that is based off of her physique. That's not shallow. That's hard work and discipline. She is making a conscious choice to, in the long term, and she might be having some big meals here and there. We don't know how she lives. In the long term, she is choosing to be in a fasted state because that is her brand. She has extraordinary discipline. A lot of people wouldn't be able to reduce their body fat like that because they would be hungry. So, not here to knock the hustle. I think what she's doing is amazing. But yes, women need to know that 800 calories is not enough for most women. So when you have these fitness models, your fitspo, fitness inspiration, you have to be mindful that they have trained themselves to live in fasted states every now and again, especially if they're prepping. You don't want to look at another woman and think she's got the ideal body and she's prepping for a bodybuilding competition. That is very serious discipline when it comes to reducing your calories, also a little bit of your water intake, and making sure you eat enough protein so that your muscles don't waste. What does this mean for regular schmegular women that your fitness inspiration is starving? And there is a phenomenon called the female athlete triad. Some women are so fit that they're actually not healthy and they're not fertile, but let's keep in mind that's not necessarily some of these women's goals. And I am not speaking to any eating disorders. I don't know about that. I'm just bringing people into awareness of the people that they idolize. They're living different lives. The female athlete triad is going to be energy deficiency, impaired bone health, and menstrual dysfunction. This is all brought about from malnutrition and caloric deficits in the long term. You have to have a certain body fat percentage to be fertile. That is not always the same body fat percentage that you need to have abs. You can see that there are some fit women, some fitness inspiration models who say that they're struggling with fertility. And it's like, no wonder you don't have enough fat on your body for the hormones you need to conceive life. When I was in the military and I went to basic training, we had 10 minutes to eat lunch, and a lot of women stopped menstruating from all of the physical activity that they were doing. Can you speculate that the military probably wasn't feeding us enough? Yeah, but we didn't know any better. It happens. So when you're looking at these fitness models, what's your fitness goal? Do you want to be a fertile woman who's a natural size? Do you want to push it to the athletic limit, see how far you can take it? Or do you just want to exercise so that you can live a longer life, maybe preserve your mental cognition and get some good blood flow going? That's what you should look at when you're going to tailor fitness and nutrition to your life. So next time you are depressed with your glass of wine and some chocolate, staring at your phone because you don't have a six-pack like an influencer, just know that these women are probably not ovulating. That doesn't mean you have a leg up on them. It's just to be cognizant and aware of alternative perspectives. There are a lot of fitness coaches out there that are familiar with this concept. They know what's going on. They try to get their female athletes fed. If you are a woman out there who is struggling with nutrition and fitness, you're probably overthinking it and giving yourself so much anxiety that it's counterproductive to the goal. So get in touch with the resources that you need. Go to a local gym, go see a dietitian. There's several options out there for you, especially if you are overweight and you have access to healthcare. You can talk to your doctor about some programs. I wish women nothing but happy and healthy marriages, but I also wish for them to have great physical health. I'll see you next week. Bye.